Good morning and welcome to Opinions from Mary. I I want to share my testimony about a miracle that happened in my life that has me feeling like I should have never doubted in the first place. And anyway, so let me just get started. So welcome. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Today is Friday. No, it's actually Sunday, March 26th. And this incident happened on Wednesday, March 23rd. So it's been about 3 days. Anyway, I was recently diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and all my test results are coming back wonderful. They did do a biopsy, and the biopsy showed that it was a fast growing cancer, which kind of had me shocked because I couldn't even find a lump in my breast until after they did the biopsy. But anyway, done my insurance, which is an HMO Advantage plan. I'm stuck with what they allow me to do, and I wasn't able to get a second opinion. So I ended up having the lumpectomy, the mass removed, and some tissue around it, and also two lymph nodes. Now that came back. It came back that there was cancer in this tumor. However, everything surrounding it was normal. The lymph nodes were normal, which was all good. And incredibly enough, for being a fast, according to the biopsy, a fast growing tumor, when I had the biopsy, and from the ultrasound and the MRI, you could see it. The mass was 2 centimeters. And when they removed the tumor, it was only 1.3 centimeters. So instead of getting bigger, and according to every website that I've gone to, what claims to have, cancer experts, the fast growing cancers and just about any kind of cancers double in size. So 5 months later, I'm shrinking in size. So instead of being a 4 centimeter, I'm actually less than the 2 centimeter. Anyway, God bless for all of that. And when I went and also oncotype testing was done to see how well I would respond to chemo, because in the United States, that's your treatment: chemo, radiation, and for breast cancer, then they put you on some kind of hormone pill. Anyway, when the oncotype came back that I would have a less than 1% chance of benefiting, less than 1% chance of benefiting from any kind of cancer treatment, chemo treatment. So anyway, I saw the oncologist, and he just wanted to put me on chemo, radiation, and then wanted me on a pill for 9 to 10 years after that. And, I asked why. And he says, well, if you don't want radiation, you should have had a mastectomy. I found that to be offensive. When I asked, why would I want chemo when my oncotype came back, he got livid. And basically, that meeting ended up with him storming out of the examination room, telling me to find another doctor. I was quite relieved with that, but my insurance will not allow me to find another doctor. So I saw my surgeon for a follow-up visit, and she freaked that I wasn't doing any treatment at all. So that kind of got me doubting as to whether I'm totally cured and in perfect health, which I do believe that God has healed me and I'm fine. However, that doubt existed. And so the night before this miracle, I went to bed and I said a prayer: Dear God, please take away my unbelief. Let me know what I'm supposed to know. Anyway, that morning, actually, it was a Tuesday. Tuesday, we had rain. And in Las Vegas, we very, very seldom get rain, but we got a lot of rain that day. And that morning was garbage pickup. So it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and my recycle bin had a bunch of cardboard boxes in it, and the bin wasn't able to shut. So I went out to adjust my garbage, and I pulled the gate behind me, which is a wooden gate. And I thought it latched shut, but I guess the wood was so swollen that even though it felt tight and latched, it wasn't. Anyway, as I was playing around with rearranging my cardboard boxes in my recycle bin for pickup, I noticed across the street my elder dog was, moping around, checking out, like, where's the cats at? And I was like, "What the heck are you doing across the street, Zena?" And I looked back and the gate was wide open. Well, my two younger puppies obviously are smart enough to know how to pull that gate open and opened it up and decided to go for a run in the neighborhood. So I got Xena in the house, grabbed my bicycle. I didn't know which way they had, and these dogs, being young, they run like the wind. My gosh, they're fast. So I thought, the best thing to do is to get my bicycle and go, look for them. So I went on the corner of where I live to where it's kind of like the major intersection for that our neighborhood, to where cars east, west, north, south have to pass through. And I started asking cars, "Did you see my dogs?" Because I didn't see them anywhere around the house. So nobody saw them until this one lady in a black truck came and says, "Do you know whose dogs those are?" And I go, "There are two of them. One's a German Shepherd, another one's a little blue nosed pit." And she said, "Yeah, they're at my house." And I was like, "Oh, good. Where do you live?" So anyway, she told me. And she said that, they didn't seem to be aggressive, but her dog was now stuck under a car because he was scared and she was afraid that maybe something happened to him. And I could see the fear in his face. Well, lately I found, God does answer our prayers. It's actually incredible. So this miracle is a definite answer. But prior to this, I've been asking for like help, and I've never read the Bible. I was raised Catholic, and anyone who was raised Catholic who kind of objects to that understands where I'm coming from. So I was kind of adverse to like reading the Bible, and did a really good job of staying away from it. But now that I'm older, I got a lot of questions, and especially now with such craziness going around in the world, to where it's I'm in shock like everybody else. Anyway, at 6:30 in the morning on our local station, Andrew Womack has Gospel Truth, and he resonates with me. It's his person. He's an older man. I'm an older woman, but his personal experiences of growing up, and where life has taken him to where he's actually gone into the Bible and tried to look for answers to explain, I find to be very interesting. And anyway, so 6:30 in the morning, it's a good way to start my day. Turn him on, listen to what kind of positive comments he has to say for the day. And one of his comments was, even though Christ came to save, you for eternal salvation and everything, just because you're saved doesn't mean you don't need to, follow God's word, and i.e. live up to the 10 commandments. So as this lady's saying this, it's going through my head, oh my gosh, did my dogs hurt this dog or what? I knew the right thing to do was to step up and to say, so I told her, I says, "Look, I'm going to go check on your dog," because she was going to work. She didn't have time to check him out. I said, "I'm going to go check on your dog. And if and my dogs did anything to your dog, I will take responsibility. So don't worry about that." And that seemed to put her mind to ease. And I just knew it was the right thing to do. And I didn't think my dogs did anything to the dog, but I knew it was right. And, I knew it was right to at least go check on the dog. So um, as I'm starting to pedal towards her house, here come my two dogs, happy as can be, running in the neighborhood. Got them back in the yard, really pulled that gate shut so that latch did secure. And then I went to her house. When I got to her house, there was blood everywhere. And her dog wasn't a big German Shepherd or Pit Bull that's 100 pounds. It was small, like a little Chihuahua. It wasn't a Chihuahua. I don't know if it was, they call them Shih Tzus or whatever, but it was a small dog. And it was hidden underneath the bed, and the mom was home, and so was a 19-year-old, and they couldn't get the dog out from under the bed. So I got on the ground and asked for a broom to kind of, nudge it out, and it just wouldn't move. It was yelping, and it was real scary. They were freaked out. It was an historical mess, hysterical mess. It was historical too, but hysterical mess. And so I'm trying to calm them down, saying, "Look, I was doing my dog's nails and I cut the quip too close and I had blood everywhere. So I know there's a lot of blood, but it doesn't mean anything serious. So just, quit freaking out. Maybe like he lost a tooth or something and it's just like a lot of blood. We don't know." So anyway, we had to pull the mattress off. The 19-year-old, his name's Ernie, had to pick up the box spring. The mom had to like then get under the box spring to get the dog, and there was just blood all over this dog. Its mouth was open. They put it in a towel. We got in their car. We went to the vet by our house. They wouldn't see us. The vet wasn't in. They were too busy. Had to go to an emergency hospital. And these people are just freaking out because they had to be at work and on and on and on. So Ernie was off that day, but he didn't have a car. So anyway, it was like, look, we will go to my house and we will get my car and we will go to the vet. So Ernie, you come with me and we'll do that. The mom or whoever that was, she went to work, and I got my bicycle, rode home. Ernie walked over to my house carrying the dog, pulled my car out, and started heading to this emergency hospital, which we had no idea where it was, but just the word emergency scares you to death. When I've taken dogs to emergency hospitals before, and a $40 visit is a $400 visit. It's the price is escalating, and it's like anyway. So I told Ernie, I says, look, I know we pass another veterinary clinic on the way heading there. Would you mind if I stop? Because I'm really nervous about going to these emergency clinics. They're so expensive, and I don't want to deny your dog getting fixed or, looked at. But, and he's like, okay. So he was very helpful. And I really appreciate the kindness that he extended to me, even though he was in total shock. So we went to this other clinic, and I went in to ask if they would at least see the dog. And they were like, yeah, sure. Where's the dog at? And I said, in the car. It's just, we figured why, bring everybody in if you couldn't see us. She said, oh, yeah, we can, definitely see us. So came in with the dog, and they were like, oh my gosh. I was like, what? And they're like, the dog's jaw is broken. I was like, how can you tell? She goes, you could just tell. She goes, we're not equipped to handle this. You have to go to the emergency clinic, which is where we were heading. So anyway, we ended up at the emergency clinic and went in, and they were like, was this your dog? Because I was holding the dog at that point. Ernie was stuck in the back seat of my car and he needed help getting out. So I was holding the dog. Anyway, so I had the dog. I said, no, my dog's got out and I'm taking responsibility in case they did something to this dog. And, this is the owner here, Ernie. So they came up, they says, okay, well, we're going to put you in the back. And some lady came out and said, she goes, look, she goes, do I have your permission to put in a catheter, give pain pills, something, just to stabilize the dog? And I was like, okay. I says, yeah, I says, I just need to know how much it's going to be because, if it's going to cost too much, we got to figure out something. And she says, oh, that would be $500. Well, to walk in was 200 right off the top. But anyway, it was posted 200 just to walk in. So it was another 500 on top of that. And I says, okay, so with the 200, that's 700. I says, okay, yeah, my credit card will take it. And I thought, wow, this is going to be really expensive. But anyway, we went in a waiting room. We were there for almost 4 hours. And the vet would come in and, say, okay, we did x-rays. This is what we noticed, and then leave. And back and forth and back and forth. But anyway, after 4 hours, the vet came in and, we had a lot of questions at that time. And, the first question was, did my dogs do this to this dog? And the answer was no. The dog bit one of my dogs and bit so hard that instead of releasing, when my dog moved to run away, the dog did not release its jaw, and that's how the jaw got broken. I was like, what? And she said, yeah, it happens all the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, because my dogs, they play with one another and they play with their mouth. And she says, oh no, not with big dogs. She says, with little dogs, this is very common. And I didn't know that. So anyway, I was glad to hear that it wasn't my dogs being aggressive. But she did say that she did notice that when she was touching the dog's body, his stomach area felt tender because he would, yelp. And Ernie said, yeah, I saw the gray dog, which is my blue nose, from the behind, but I saw my dog's legs off the ground. And so I was like, oh my gosh, my dog probably had your dog in his mouth. That's what it sounded like anyway. So we asked the vet, and it's like, well, were there any puncture wounds? And she said, no. It's just like, like scraping or something. But she goes, but we're concerned because just like the same way if you bump into something and you get a bruise, that blood, it'll accumulate. And so we don't know if there's going to be any bruising or anything. We want to monitor it and keep your dog overnight, and keep him on pain pills or whatever to make sure he's okay. And we're like, okay. And then she left. So anyway, well, we're like, all right, well, we still don't know what's going on over here, but good to know that it wasn't my dogs that did this. Of course, my dog's getting out of the gate. It probably would have never happened anyway. But anyway, so continuing on here. After 4 hours, another lady comes in and says to Ernie, okay, we'll sign here for your permission. And it was like, what? And, at this point, I'm like, well, how much is this all costing? Because we were at like $700 just to get the dog, like, for you to look at him, and she's like, well, she goes, well, for him to be here, get him stabilized and everything, that's $2,700. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And she goes, and the surgeon is 5,300. So if you do the math on that, that's $8,000. I'm going to be honest. There was a time in my life that I probably could have handled that. I don't know when, and I don't even want to think about when that was, but it's not right now. And yes, I am on Social Security, and yes, I do have a credit card, but it wouldn't even take that amount. So I was just, and the lady's like, sign here to Ernie, okay, for their permission to proceed. And I'm like, wow. I says, wait. I go, I don't hit, my credit card won't handle that. And she said, oh, I thought you knew. I said, what? She goes, oh, there was an anonymous donor that overheard you guys when you came in, and she volunteered to pay for the whole thing. That's my miracle. The whole way home, okay, so they kept the dog overnight. The next morning, no problems, no bruising, whatever. They proceeded with the surgery. I haven't heard anything since. I asked to be updated, but I had to ask out to find out what happened, the next morning, and the dog was being prepped for surgery. That's the last I heard, and they haven't updated me. But as far as the miracle goes, that's the miracle. That night before, for me to ask for my unbelief to be taken away in God's incredible power to heal me, okay, resulted in his incredible power to be able to heal not only me, but this family that this dog came from. And I'm sorry that the dog's jaw got hurt, but Ernie, as we drove home, was in tears the whole way. And this was the other side of town. So it was, we were driving for a good 15, 20 minutes to get back to home. Anyway, he just cried and sobbed the whole time. He says, no, you don't understand. I guess he had prayers of his own that were being answered. And so this was an answer not only to his prayers, but also to my prayers to do the right thing, and to know that I am being protected and being taken care of and not being put into any harm, and that my prayers are also being answered. So I want to share this with you. From what I've heard, there's other people that have had this experience, but I have never had anybody who's an anonymous donor just step up to the plate and offer to pay $8,000 for a dog that they didn't even know who these people were. And so I share that with you just to let you know that I am very thankful to my creation and the fact that my creation seems to have meaning and that I am not alone in this world. And I hope that this is also good for you as well, too. So thank you. And I share this with thanks that Jesus Christ, and I never had a doubt about Jesus Christ, but I thank him from coming to this world so that the words were actually written by someone so that there is a resource for me now to know that there is guidance out there for me to have a stronger faith that I'm being protected. So I thank everybody involved, and I thank everyone that's doing the right thing. And I thank everybody for making this a better world, the one that we're supposed to be living in. And I thank that anonymous donor for being an angel and for just, oh, and so right now I'm looking forward to getting my act together so that I can too be such a blessing to someone else in the future. So I say this and I praise God and everybody, and I wish you the very best. God bless you all. Bye bye.